Why this NASCAR driver was banned forever. What does it take to get banned from one of the most adrenaline-fueled sports in the world? Not suspended, not fined, but permanently exiled, erased from the garage, the track, and the history books. This is not your typical racing scandal. This is the story of a NASCAR driver whose actions were so controversial, so explosive, that they didn't just break the rules, they shattered NASCAR's tolerance entirely. The man at the center of it all? A name that once promised promise. A name that now echoes only in whispers. Today, we dive deep into the twisted, shocking tale of Jeremy Mayfield, the NASCAR driver who went from winning on Sundays to being banned forever. The rise of a dark horse. Before the scandal, there was a rising star, and nobody saw the fall coming. Jeremy Mayfield was not some obscure racer hanging at the back of the field. No, he was a fierce competitor with undeniable talent. He captured 5 Cup Series wins in the early 2000s and drove for elite teams like Penske Racing and Evernham Motorsports. His aggressive style, sharp instincts, and raw determination made him a force on the track. For fans, Mayfield was a blue-collar hero, someone who didn't come from a dynasty, but who built his career with grit. But behind the wheel, something darker was simmering, and soon it would erupt into one of NASCAR's most unforgettable controversies. 2009, the year that changed everything. One failed test, one career shattered, one driver thrown into chaos. In May 2009, NASCAR made an announcement that shocked the garage. Jeremy Mayfield had failed a random drug test. The substance? Methamphetamine, according to the sanctioning body. The punishment? Immediate suspension. The news exploded across sports media. Meth? From a Cup Series driver with wins and prestige? Fans were stunned. Sponsors fled. Teams distanced themselves. And Mayfield was left with a choice: accept the penalty or fight back. And fight he did. What followed was a legal and public relations war that would ultimately end in one of the sport's most dramatic banishments. Mayfield strikes back. Most drivers disappear quietly. Jeremy Mayfield chose war. Instead of fading into the shadows, Mayfield launched a counterattack. He denied the allegations publicly and vehemently, claiming the test was flawed and that a mix of over-the-counter medications had triggered a false positive. He took NASCAR to court, fighting for reinstatement and accusing the organization of targeting him. For a moment, it looked like he might win. A judge granted him a temporary injunction, allowing him to return to racing. But the battle was far from over. A career in freefall. As the courtroom battles intensified, Jeremy Mayfield's racing career evaporated. Even with the temporary injunction, no teams were willing to touch him. No sponsors wanted to associate with the controversy. He tried to start his own racing operation, but without backing, it collapsed. Mayfield became a ghost in the paddock, a name that once evoked respect, now synonymous with disgrace. And then, NASCAR delivered the final blow. The governing body reinstated the ban, making it permanent. Jeremy Mayfield was officially barred from competing in any NASCAR-sanctioned event. Not just the Cup Series. All of it. Forever. The public meltdown. Most athletes disappear after a fall. Mayfield kept spiraling, and the headlines kept coming. Why NASCAR never let him back in? Other drivers have been suspended, some even reinstated. So why was Mayfield exiled with no return? The answer lies not just in the drug test, but in the response. NASCAR values its image and authority. Mayfield didn't just violate a rule, he challenged the institution. By suing NASCAR, making inflammatory public claims, and refusing to accept the ruling, he crossed a line few had dared. NASCAR doesn't just punish for violations, it punishes for insubordination. The governing body viewed Mayfield's campaign as an existential threat to its testing policy. To maintain credibility, they had to make an example. And they did. Mayfield wasn't suspended, he was erased. The lingering questions. Even years later, the story still raises eyebrows, and questions remain unanswered. To this day, Jeremy Mayfield insists he never used meth. He claims he was railroaded by an organization trying to protect its own image at the cost of a man's career. There are fans who believe him, who see him as a martyr taken down for daring to speak up. Others view his downfall as a cautionary tale, a driver who self-destructed and dragged everyone down with him. The truth, somewhere in the haze. But one fact remains: NASCAR has never welcomed him back, and likely never will. A legacy of infamy. Mayfield's story isn't about wins, it's about how quickly they can be taken away. Before the scandal, Jeremy Mayfield was on track for a solid NASCAR legacy. Not a Hall of Famer, perhaps, but a respected competitor with real achievements. Now, he's remembered for something else entirely. He became the symbol of rebellion, scandal, and what happens when a driver goes to war with the sport itself. His name is rarely mentioned in broadcasts. His records still stand, but in silence. No ceremonies, no second chances, just a shadow on the edge of NASCAR's polished image. Where is he now? Out of the spotlight, but not out of the fight. In recent years, Mayfield has tried to rebuild his life. He's dabbled in dirt track racing and has appeared in a few small media interviews. He still maintains his innocence, and even today, insists he wants to come back. But the reality is clear. NASCAR has moved on. The industry has changed. New stars have risen. And Jeremy Mayfield? He remains a ghost from a darker chapter. A reminder that even the fastest drivers can crash hard when the lights go out. In NASCAR, the roar of the engine can drown out anything except disgrace. Jeremy Mayfield's story isn't just about racing. It's about power, pride, and a fall so steep it still echoes 15 years later. Was he guilty? Was he framed? Did he deserve redemption? Or did he seal his fate by fighting back? These are questions only time could answer, but time, like NASCAR, doesn't look back. One thing's for sure, no matter how many new legends rise, Jeremy Mayfield will forever be the driver who lost it all and never got it back. Thanks for watching. Hit that like button, subscribe for more explosive NASCAR stories, and let us know in the comments, should he have been banned forever, or was it too far?